Alright guys, it's been quite a while since I made my last video on the bed for the CJ10A, and I thought I'd kind of show you where I am right now. The last video, the frame was all welded up and all my sheet metal was cut. Now the sheet metal was in, but now all the sheet metal's in and welded. I have the holes drilled for my fuel filler in the sidewall and my filler hoses down through the floor. The fenders, last time the fenders were bent up and notched out. Now I have my flanges in, they're all welded, got my holes drilled for mounting. The fuel filler last time, all the parts were cut out and I sort of had it, you know, I guess mocked up or something, but the fuel filler is now done. I actually like how it came out. I did end up using the threaded nipple off the CJ10A, the tug diesel tank. I had cut this, you know, threaded nipple off. I wasn't sure if I was going to thread this or weld it on, but I did end up wanting a little more height, so I did end up welding the threaded nipple onto this. Let me bolt it on and show you what it looks like. There we go. So that's that. I actually like how it came out. You know, one thing I wasn't too sure about is, you know, when I built this, I didn't know if I was going to overwhelm the vent really fast. The other day when my wife wasn't home, I attached a couple feet of hose to the fill in the vent. I brought it into the kitchen sink. I ran the kitchen sink down into the fuel filler full throttle, and I was surprised. It all went down the vent. It didn't come up on, I mean, it all went down the filler. It didn't come up on the vent at all. Now, I know that probably means nothing once I go to the diesel pump, but, you know, if you saw my other video, you'll know I had a standard CJ7 gas filler bolted straight to the tank, and I was restricted to filling it with a fuel can, and this is definitely going to be better than a fuel can. Do I think I'm going to be able to go to the diesel pump and pull it full throttle? Probably not, but it's definitely going to be better than the fuel can. So, last night I spent a little time, I bent up a shroud for this. I still got a little work to do on this, but this is what this looks like. I got two more brackets to make for the bottom and get this welded up, but I think it came out alright. I don't know that I love it, but out of a few different things that I had bent up and tried, it was the only thing that I really liked. And, you know, talking to a few friends, they kind of, you know, they didn't like anything but this, so this is what I ended up with. Let me show you what one of the fenders looks like bolted on. think that'll work. So one thing I do have is, you know, I got a little movement here. If you push down on this on the outside, you know, I don't think this is necessarily going to be a problem with the wind and stuff going down the road. But in my next video, what I'm going to do, which I hope is going to be fairly soon, if we get some nice weather in the next few days, I'm going to bolt this on the truck, get everything, you know, fenders and everything on. I'm going to take it for a good ride and, you know, make sure this isn't an issue. I just want to see if I can get away with it for now. I do have plans for maybe like triangular step in here. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but, you know, it's going to come down here and, you know, come down off of the fender. And that'll eliminate this ever being a problem, which I don't think it's going to, but, you know, winter's coming fairly fast here in New England, and, you know, I got a whole bunch of outside stuff to do, so I got to wrap this up pretty soon and, you know, get back to this once actually, you know, there's snow on the ground or it's, you know, 15 degrees out, whichever comes first. But, you know, so I got to get this thing all in prime and get this thing wrapped up and get my outside chores done, getting ready for winter. Normally I'd have a couple cords of wood stacked by now. You know, stupid ass chickens need a better winter house. I've been in here working on the Jeep a little too much, so I'm hoping I can get away with this for now until I can get back to it. Now, as far as the front goes, same thing on the front. I'm eventually going to have running boards that run down the side of the Jeep, and that'll eliminate any of this problem. But again, I just want to take it for a ride and make sure I can get by with this for the next few months. So that's that. So I found these on Craigslist. These are military blackout lights. I could probably go on for about 10 minutes and explain how the blackout functions. But for now, I'm just after the, you know, the turn, the tail, and the stop. And let me show you what these look like inside. I was actually pretty surprised. Now, the military eventually went to a heavy-duty plastic housing. Guys have told me that was been the past 15 or so years, so I'm guessing these are 15, 20 years anyway. And these things look, I'd say, almost brand new inside. I hope you can actually see that. This is pretty neat. There's actually suspension for the light bulbs. These little rubber booties act as suspension, and they also act as wire management for the wires. You know, I guess if anyone needs suspension on the light bulbs, it's probably our military. Now, to get the blackout function to work, I'd have to be running 24 volts. The truck is 12 volts. For now, I just put some 12-volt bulbs in here. I tested them on a battery. Everything seems to function. This is what I'm after for now. Hopefully in the future I can get the blackout function to work. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but like I said, for now I'm just after this. Look at how cool that is. I love these things. So, I had talked about possibly putting them on the fenders at one time. You know, I'm not sure that's actually going to work, and I'll kind of explain why. And here's the thing. A few of my friends that actually hang out in the shop and come by on occasion, they've all voted for having them on the fenders. I actually like the truck without the fenders on it. I've been driving this thing around all summer without an actual bed on it. And no one has a problem with it. None of the police around me, except for one town, has a problem with this. Now, I know the tires stick out, the front tires stick out, and all that. Most of the police officers around, including my town, you know, I've had my chief yell at me, give me big thumbs up, Jeep's coming along great. I've been to other towns surrounding me. You know, I've had police officers, hey, can we take a picture with it? Never said anything about it. Now, there's this one town away from me, they have a real issue with it. And unfortunately, I need to go through this town to kind of go anywhere where I live. I live in sort of middle New Hampshire, and, you know, it's all small towns around here, and no one has a problem with the Jeep except for this one town. So, if I take the fenders off and drive it around that way, I'm going to lose my place to mount the taillights. So I think the taillights are probably going to go here. make it a little easier to run the wires down underneath, and when I don't have the fenders on it, I'm not going to lose my mounting spot for all the tail lights. What else is there? So, front and rear bumper. This is the rear bumper. I showed this last time. You know, I said I was kind of trying to copy the original tug bumper somewhat, you know, and literally shave down 100, 200 pounds. This is a channel just like the original tug bumper, much thinner gauge, but to sort of make it look like the tug bumper, I'm going to close in the end caps, or no, excuse me, these are the end caps to close in the bumper. So, anyway, I got to weld that up. I got both end caps here. This is something guys kind of do all the time. This is a neat little trick if you haven't seen this. If you build multiples of parts, tack them all together, cut them at one time, you know, grind them, drill your holes at one time. You snap these apart, you'd be surprised how well these come out. That's something I actually do all the time. This is another little project totally separate, but same principle. 5 little parts that needed to be identical. I tacked them all together, drilled my hole at one time, and like I said, you'd be surprised how well it works. So, bumper is front bumper. Front bumper needs a little bit of work still. I had talked about this. It's got a couple of tacks in the back, just holding it on for now. It was to kind of, you know, get it to a car show. This has got to be pulled apart. The bracket's got to be pulled off. Everything's got to be cleaned up and actually welded. Now, I know it's kind of plain, simple looking, you know, sort of CJ7, but it has the ends closed in like the tug. The CJ7 would have had the corners clipped off. It's a little bit larger than the CJ7, but kind of on that idea. My wife really wanted it like this. She kind of likes the plain look. I really wanted to put some sort of brush guard or push bar on it or something, but you know, my wife really doesn't want that. She wants it to stay like this, and there's kind of a story behind that. And if this whole Jeep video thing works out, I think I'll actually explain that, but I think I'm going to be able to get away with these. These are the shackles off the rear of the tug, and I at least need to make 2 more of these brackets and get a couple more shackles. It at least needs 2 shackles hanging on the front. So, wiring harness. This is a wiring harness off this is a rear section off of one of the CJ10A beds. Now, I have quite a few of these beds, and I don't know what went on here, but I haven't seen this craziness before. Now, no one had ever messed with this other than the military since I've owned it. Now, there's guys that swear by these things. Yeah, I don't like these at all. These are for when you're stuck on the side of the road, you don't have any tools, you know, you use one of these and you fix it when you get home. I don't know exactly what went on here, but this is ridiculous. There's more of them under here. I don't know how many's on here, but I stopped unwrapping this. There's got to be another 5 or so under here. So, one thing I will say is I tested this, and this completely functions. Now, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 maybe? You know, again, like I said, guys swear on these things, and I understand you want to use one of these under your dash to tap into some 12-volt power, but for a wiring harness under a rear bumper, I don't know. You know, this should all be crimped together, soldered, have shrink tubing on it, at least in my opinion. This is not going to work for me. Now, like I said, winter's coming fast here in New England. I got to kind of wrap this up until snow's on the ground. So I may have to deal with this for a few weeks, but this is not something I'm going to let go. This is awful. That's got to get fixed. I have a feeling what's going to happen is I'm going to start with that and this, and that's all I'm going to end up using. You know, I had mentioned that I have quite a few of these tugs, and I think at least I think I mentioned that. I have quite a few of these, and I've never seen anything like this. I've pulled lots of these tug harnesses apart. I don't know if this was day one at wiring school or what the hell went on here, but the only thing I can think is this harness didn't have trailer power originally, and someone added this trailer power to it. I really don't know what went on here, but that's not going to work for me. So, what else is there? Things I'm going to try to get done over the winter are, let's see, I ordered a whole bunch of rubber parts for my doors, soft parts, if you will. Now, no one makes CJ10A or CJ10 door, or what's actually called, most people don't know this, but the doors are called World Cab doors. No one makes World Cab soft parts. So you're restricted to use some CJ7 parts. You have to buy a few multiples, cut them up, glue them together. I'm going to try to make a video and show you how I do that. It actually comes out really nice. You can't even tell. But like I said, you do have to you know, put a little time in and do a little cutting and stuff. But it comes out really well. Spare tire carrier. I have plans for a spare tire carrier in the bed for now. You know, maybe sitting here at an angle. What my wife refers to as, oh, gross, Baja style. Now, she just made a face at me, but that's exactly what was said. So I think the spare tire is going to sit here at an angle. I don't know what the mount's going to look like, but when I get to that, I'll show you. I also picked up a CJ7 tailgate. I am going to cut the Jeep section out of the middle of it, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to graft it into my tailgate plan. What else do I have planned for, like, over the winter? You know, I think that's kind of it. I hope I didn't forget anything. Talked about the bumpers, bed, fenders, fuel, wiring harness, lights. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys like the video, you know, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. You guys know how to do that stuff. I don't know. I'm probably missing a few things, but you know, I don't know how any of that stuff works, to be honest. My wife does it all for me. I still own a flip phone. If I can't cut it, weld it, grind it, paint it, I really don't understand how it functions. But if you guys like the video, if you want to see more of this stuff or any of the things I talked about, you know, send me a comment, let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate your time.